are here for you in another Giants losing effort. The game just became 6-2, and yeah, we're getting pretty tired of this shit. My name is Jake Lucas. I'm here with Joe Starkey and Dave Greenstein, and we're gonna try out a live stream of the Giants. We're thinking kind of a Manning cast thing, except with three really good-looking fellas instead of two ugly ones. And we're gonna have some guests. A couple of friends of ours are gonna join the pod in a little bit. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of guide you through the game, give our takes, kind of bullshit, joke around. So yeah, thanks for joining us. Wow, 3.7 million followers right now. That's crazy.
Incredible. The subscribers are just, 1,000% a day. It's wild.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Are you talking about us, Hum Daddies?
Yeah.
Is it just us?
Well, are you talking about our subscribers?
I don't know. I'm trying to watch this Jaguar commercial.
So
where'd they film that? Egypt? It's like a desert. Very cool.
we got a few different things to talk about today, guys. Not just MLB, but NBA has really kicked off with all the trades and changes, and so we got to get a little Warrior talk in here today. And we might as well just, pretend to be talking about the Niners too, because talking Giants baseball is rough.
Well, this is bullshit, man. Like every game, it's just this is a rut, a serious rut.
Well, cool. It's Jake. It turns around right here. Our little Humcast. We're gonna change the mojo. How could it get any worse? You got swept by the Marlins, 2 of 3 from Chicago. Lost yesterday on a crazy game. Losing today. I mean, this is the inflection point where it all turns around. How about that?
Elliot Ramos with a routine fly ball to center.
I would like to believe that, Joe, but I'm also a realistic Giants fan that this rut might, push us into a bad place a little longer. I don't think we're going to get out of it all of a sudden. I think we need somebody on this team to take over on the bat. We just need a couple guys to get red hot here and just let it flow through the dugout. But right now, I think everyone's getting tight.
Coming back.
Everyone's getting tight. I know it's bad. And I heard today on the Murph and Kuiper show.
Murph and Kuiper.
Kuip was talking about. Yeah, Kuip was a guest. But
who was Murph's co-host today?
Doesn't matter.
FB or something.
I don't know.
Devers with a nice 200-foot pop fly can of corn routine horse shit contact. 2 outs in the 6th.
The content came like this. Devers' weakness is fastballs. He can't hit a fastball. Great. We're in a fastball league.
Well, he did have a double today, and his fat ass couldn't get around third to score the scoring time. They had to wipe it off the board.
Yeah.
So even when he did hit, he's making outs.
Yeah, and he K'd again his first debut.
What do you have? 4 strikeouts yesterday?
Seems like he has a hat trick every day.
4 whiffs.
At least.
He's only struck out once today in 3 AB, and he's got a knock, so I'll give him that. But we need to see some big changes out of Mr. Devers here in short order to get this team back on the right winning streak.
Like, don't the Diamondbacks have like some crazy pretzel dog, like foot-long hot dog that you dip in like ice cream? I bet he has a couple of those before the game.
Hey, well, we have only the 3 of us here. You guys want to go around the horn and do a little what are we drinking, what are we wearing?
You bet. Let's do it.
Hold on. I'm trying to send a link here. You guys start off. I'll listen.
All right. Well, I'm drinking a Negro Modelo for dark days here in Giants World. And then I'm wearing a Oakland Oaks 1940-something era jersey. It's one of my faves. Wore it to the reverse boycott game. So special place in my Mi Corazon. So that's what I got. Dave, what do you got?
Mi corazón.
Well, tonight I am drinking yet another field work, but I'm going with a timing and structure, which is what we need right now at the plate. This German Pilsner is quite crisp. And new jersey to the pod here tonight, guys. Fresh,
I like
although
that. That's like a weird '90s one or something, right?
You know what that looks like?
It
looks
Looks
exactly
like
like
an Ashcon wore in the
Ashcon video. That's the jersey.
This is an
I'm on the same
02
page, Sharky.
Giants NL All-Star Jason Schmidt.
Oh,
Wow.
that is
Like that
fucking
nice
Oh,
patch.
neato.
Yeah.
It's
It was
such
good,
a random. Oh, so that was the actual All-Star jersey?
Yeah, apparently. The downside of this jersey is that it's a medium and it fits about, that's like an extra large the way it was shaped. So maybe it's a medium for Jason Schmidt.
I want to pull up this Ashcon shirt.
It's very
Yeah,
similar.
it's
It
sweet.
reminds me
Sweet.
of like the replica jerseys kids would have in the '90s.
It's definitely one you want to wear with a sweatshirt underneath. So I'll save it for the night cold games out at Oracle.
I like it. I think I wear this jersey a lot. It's it's very very Bonds, guys.
Yeah.
It's
2-5.
I believe they did actually wear this jersey in '98 for like one game. It was I don't know. I don't know why. I don't remember the story, but it's a lot cleaner than the new bullshit City Connect jerseys.
Ugh, they're so hideous. I think that's the problem this year. I think we need to just get rid of those and we'll be fine. Just go back to something else.
Remember the the turn back the clock days where they'd wear those like super old New York Giants jerseys? Matt Williams tried to look like Babe Ruth. You guys remember that at all?
Yeah, like the big kind of oversized,
big, like wool,
flowy.
baggy.
Some guys pulled it off better than others. Some guys have
Matt
the body
Williams was
type.
awesome. I had a
Yeah.
card with Matt Williams wearing that.
Well, he went high socks usually, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Yeah, he was
Especially
really
then.
into that.
Yeah, I like back in the 90s, they wear like not high socks, but like medium high socks. It was just like the sock stirrups.
The
And
stirrups were always
you
my
wouldn't go to
favorite.
the knee. You'd go to like mid calf. That's all you needed.
Yep.
Yeah, 80s had a lot of stirrup action, and then the 2000s was just like baggy to the ankle with no stirrups at all.
Or how about the new guys going above the knee? That's just disgusting.
What? I haven't seen that before.
Oh,
Is that a thing?
Kind of did that, didn't he?
Our color commentator went pretty high, but not as high as some of these new guys. They go above the knee.
No thanks.
I like that,
Hard
Seymour. You
pass.
see that? Brushed him high and tight.
Talking about Seymour Butts here.
Yeah.
Fun fact: that's the password to my Wi-Fi.
Well,
You're a big
no
Simpsons
wonder your
guy?
Wi-Fi sucks.
I live on Oak and Seymour, so we were trying to come up with a Wi-Fi password real quick when it was getting installed. I was like, Seymour Butts, just do that. We'll change it later. And now it's on
Never
every one of our.
changed
Never.
I'm a
changed
big Jane Seymour guy. When I think Seymour, I think of Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman.
What about this Giants schedule I'm looking at right here? They got a couple more against the Diamondbacks. Pretty.
A couple more? Is this a 4-gamer?
it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, it's a 4-gamer.
Oh my
Well,
god!
fortunately,
And it's
or
7-2.
unfortunately,
It's 7-2.
Why am I so
and that looks like it's Jesus.
Excuse me. Oh my god! That was a
That was a bomb.
That was like 440. Where's my remote?
Yeah. The ball flies out of that yard, but jeez, that was crushed.
No, that you got to earn that. Well, this is officially pathetic.
Yeah.
I think, to my point, I don't think we've hit rock bottom yet. We need a few more really ugly losses to really have the final turnaround. We need to kind of get a case of the fuckets. Like, I think the Giants right now think they're like, oh, we're a good team. We'll work out of this. Like, they need to believe they're shit so they can wake up the next day and be like, we're shit. Let's just play loose again.
Right.
No one thinks we're good. Like they thought they were good.
Well-
and now that has been stuck in their head, and they think as a good team we should be able to just work out of these issues. They need to think they suck like they did in spring training, and then have a great turnaround.
I don't know, man. If losing 1-0 against the Chicago White Sox doesn't do it for you, what would?
That's true. That's pretty bad.
I'm not seeing it. It doesn't look like
Another bomb.
We're live here.
It's 8-2 now. Who is pitching for the Giants?
Seymour Butts.
Dave.
Oh my God.
I don't believe this is streaming currently.
Oh, jeez.
Jesus Christ. Dave?
Let's see if they can just run it up real big.
You are recording, but you're not streaming.
We're not live.
This is Gamecast. Yep.
He's talking about Riverside.
On YouTube, we're not live right now. Oh yeah, we are. Never mind.
You are recording, but you're not streaming.
There it is.
Yeah. It's just a little late.
All right, I'm gonna turn this down. Sorry for the double.
Yeah.
Audio.
Yeah, I mean, so if you look at their schedule, they got 2 more against Arizona, and then they got the weekend series against the AAAs, and then 3 against Philadelphia, and then 3 against Los Angeles at home, the Dodgers, and then I think it's the All-Star break.
I can't wait for the All-Star break.
It doesn't really matter who they play. I mean,
well, it kind of does, since the Phillies and the Dodgers are damn good.
Well, actually, you know what? That it seems like we beat those teams and then we lose to the worst teams in baseball. Play down to the competition. This is pathetic.
Another
man.
knock. I mean, we're just laying down with Seymour Butts.
So I think they extended Melvin to try and change the energy and like we were talking about.
We're not going to fire anybody. We're going to just give everybody a bunch of contract extensions, go the other route. We're confident. We're so confident.
Buster was like, we got to do something. So let's, put confidence in the guys and Melvin, and that didn't work.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing to get out of it for a whole entire team. Losing is a disease.
I like that. You've been saying that. That's good. This really blows.
Who's pitching tomorrow?
Who cares? Here's Mark's. Hey, that is he the one who cried because someone talked about his mom? Did you guys see that story?
Good question.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that guy that fan got kicked out for life.
Yeah, I mean that's fucked. His mom recently died, and he got heckled about it. That's just, I mean, who does that?
Meanwhile, the guy for Arizona, the season ticket holder in left field, who has gotten in the way of 5 home runs. He's interfered with 5 home runs in the course of his time. At least that's on record.
Really?
Same dude. Yes, that interfered last night. He's done it 4 other times. How is this guy allowed to continue on?
Is that the guy?
That's
who
an
was
incredible
course that
piece of
tracks
information.
balls, like foul balls and home run balls and stuff.
No, that's that nutcase. No.
Also, that should have been a home run. If you looked at where the guy's glove landed as he received the ball, it hit the top of the fucking wall, and his momentum was going forward, which was the only reason. They needed a forensic physicist to get out there and actually do the calculation, because that was bullshit. And is a home fan, and you shouldn't be rewarded ever.
Yeah. Why are
we fan catching a ball?
Why are we rewarding these fools for interfering in the play? He's done it the previous 4 times. He's been rewarded with either it being an Arizona Diamondbacks home run, or like yesterday, it going from a home run to a double.
Yeah.
It's only gone the Arizona way. Like, he's being incentivized. He's bragging about it on local radio.
Well, the fact they called it an out, to begin with, was one of the
preposterous
ever. Yeah.
Yeah. What a miss by the umpires.
Yeah. So it's ridiculous it had to be challenged in the first place, let alone having it not be a jack and be a double.
At least they have the ability to go look at it, because once upon a time that would have really driven us fucking crazy.
I mean,
yeah, but that was a big momentum problem too.
Killing. Go ahead, Dave.
I was just gonna say. I mean, that momentum we got the momentum back of a Fitzgerald double, tied the game, felt good, lost it, but still had a shot. And the Koss, I thought it was a home run. If it's 3-3, that game could very well end, and that could have been the turning point in the season, because it would have come out of two backup second baseman level players having big knocks to get hopefully your stars going, because our stars are very much underperforming this year, like to a level that's becoming a little bit nauseating.
So we are very due for a big like breakout inning. Diamondbacks, it's a very hitter-friendly ballpark. Just give us something here, you know? Like, I remember when Galarraga and Jeff Kent and Ellis Burks would just explode at this park.
And it's not like Dallas been having a good year.
No. And their two best players are out.
So, Jake, we're going to the A's game. A's Giants, baby. Sunday.
I'm locked in on Dom Smith right now, but yeah, Sunday. Oh my God, that was good contact.
Dom Smith's having the best ABs of any Giant right now.
Man, even when they get good wood, unreal.
Lord.
So it's kind of funny that Joe's Sacramento A's play every game now at night because it's the summer in Sacramento. So we're going to go see a Sunday 7 p.m. game.
Yeah, that feels very unnatural.
It is because Sunday's always been after Sunday Night Baseball. It's the weirdest
Are they gonna time in MLB history. I mean, you know, you're used to sometimes like a rain delay game getting played like that, but
bonus prime time. What do you call 7 p.m. on a Sunday?
I wonder if is ESPN actually gonna do like a double header, or is it just on local?
I don't know. I mean, it is 4th of July weekend, but everyone's got work on Monday, so who wants to stay up? Everyone's gonna be so tired after the long week. Jake and I are gonna get out there and figure out a way to get some energy to watch the Giants get swept by the A's. At this rate,
don't do it. I need you guys for this weekend. Come on.
Yeah, we're all rooting for the same thing this weekend for the first time in forever.
Well, I mean, we all root for
Willie Adames grounds out. Can I ask you a question? I don't know if I understand the Willie Adames threat. The guy has got a big time uppercut swing, which has never really resulted in a high batting average or much production. So, can somebody explain to me why the swing made it this far?
I mean, well, he hit a home run today.
Yeah.
Well, every once in a while you run into one when you hit a swing uppercut. I don't discount that, but
yeah, no, I get it. I mean, it's an old school approach when power hitters didn't hit for average.
Yeah, I could get if he was 6'2", 220 pounds, but he's not that big of a guy.
He's had 30-plus home runs a couple times and 20, a few times.
Maybe it's just the Brewers hack. Yeah. Well, I have high hopes that the Giants are going to turn it around for a little bit. I don't know if we got a sustained team, but
Daniel Johnson is going to be the answer.
Yeah, so Adames he's had some nice years. He's had 25 home runs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. A couple of them 30.
That his average is always kind of low, though.
His average is kind of low.
He hit like 215 one year.
What's you're getting this year? Yeah, 2023, 217.
I mean, I had him in fantasy baseball last year, and that was his best year, and I loved him. So I was really happy when they signed him. But I don't know. He doesn't bother me as much as other Giants fans get bothered by him too, because he's so positive and I like his vibe. But yeah, you got to produce. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Got him. Gotti.
Who was that?
That's the Gaudium guy. Ha! Got him.
Wasn't the original got him the bearded one?
One Brian Wilson. That's right.
Got him.
Oh,
Got him. But he was very much into the pronunciation of it.
Yeah, it was very subtle, and I liked his delivery on it.
So you guys want to go through the NBA trades that have happened?
yeah. I want to talk about Looney. We lost a boy Looney today.
You know, he's so undervalued. It's kind of played out now to say he's underrated and undervalued, but he meant so much to the Warriors. He had 3 of the 4 titles under his belt, and he played with that. I remember his his chest plate was like he had a bone bruise or something, and played
Tore a pectoral muscle in the finals.
Against the Raptors, right, where everyone was just going down
in 2019, right?
Yeah, but God, what an awesome dude! And so, you know, if the Pelicans want to pay him that kind of money, go for it.
I mean, I love the guy. He was just such a gamer.
And
he did all the dirty work
too, to stay with us for a while.
I mean, if you recall, when he started out, he didn't play for like a year and a half or something because he had 2 hip surgeries that kept him out. So I think we were like in the finals, and he was just on the bench, and some guy from UCLA just riding pine, and he just grinded it out, made a name for himself.
He was a mid-range shooter at UCLA. He had like a great jumper, and he was kind of thin. And he totally changes the game.
Pretty incredible.
When he was young, he had that great lateral movement, and he could just stay with anybody on the floor, even though he played the 5. So you could switch.
Well, he was a big proponent of yoga. Remember him doing that with Moody, and then the Warriors talking about that all the time. So staying limber. I mean, I'm sure after the surgeries, they're like, you're gonna have to keep at it, or you might come back under the knife again. So, you know, it's an important aspect of his game. He kind of had to change his mental approach really early to adapt to his body, which is kudos, Looney. But I love watching the guy play.
In 22, him and Wiggins were arguably like the 2 most important guys on the team in the finals.
I don't recall the games. There was a couple that he was just getting like 20 rebounds in the playoffs.
Yeah, he had multiple games in a row with 20-plus rebounds.
It wasn't just the rebounds. It was the fact that they were oftentimes long offensive rebounds that resulted in Curry getting open 3-point shots. Because you think of how many times Curry got an open look off of an offensive rebound. That offensive rebound was often from Kevon Looney. I don't know how many assists he had. But
he like willed himself to, you know.
The other thing I liked about him is he didn't like wind the refs all the time. He just kind of went about his business. You know, him and Steph just love the way they carry themselves. Obviously, Steph, but Looney was just, you know, what a likable guy. When I went to that playoff game this last year, that was one thing that really stuck with me. Was every time he came in or did anything, the whole stadium. Ooh, they love that guy, man. He's what a player. We'll miss him.
Yeah. We will miss him. I am happy for him though to get another $16 million contract for the last couple of years of his career, more than likely. Although he's not that old, oddly enough. He just kind of looks it and plays it.
Fuck. Yeah, sorry.
Jake, you're a little behind the
speed it up, Jacob.
I know, man. It's Xfinity. They're. I'm actually watching the game. Are you guys not actually watching it? You're just watching that graphic?
I have both.
The game here,
but I'm like a pitch behind.
What's popping?
Hey,
welcome, Zacharias Lenderbrook.
That's me. Will you quit saying my government name?
Zachariah.
There we go. Yeah, just leave it like that. I'm like Cher. I'm like Madonna. One name. You know what I'm saying?
Bono.
What's good with the Hum Daddies? What is this, like is this what, AI? What do you got going on here on the cast?
We're just streaming the cast.
So, like, is this like this is a virtual player that we're seeing hitting?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
if you look at the upper left corner,
MLB.com and just check the score.
So wait, like, is it illegal for us to actually like stream the game, or we don't have the capabilities, or what?
Yeah, you're not allowed to stream.
Isn't this Dave G's job?
So Zach, the streaming something that's free is different than if we were streaming a paid service. So I think we can get away with this.
Man, come on, let's get this ad revenue up for the Hum Daddies. What do we need here? We need some contributions.
We throw it on Hulu and we have the grainiest game you've ever seen. That's like 5 minutes behind.
I got some bootleg websites that are full blown illegal, but yeah, you probably don't want to go that route. It's just weird. It's just weird looking at a computer batter up there. But what's up with these gigantes, huh? I mean that Pirates. I mean, that Pirate sweep over the Mets was only second to none of how many total runs did the Giants score in that series?
In the White
Sox series?
White Sox.
Yeah. Well, I'm comparing. Okay, the Mets got swept. It was the first time since 1925, which ironically was also the White Sox, that a team won by 8+ runs and only allowed 2 or less runs in the 4-game set or whatever. And the Giants series with the White Sox, they scored what? They scored 5 total runs in 3 games. The Giants should be thrilled that they won 1.
Yeah.
They're probably pretty disappointed, I would say.
They suck.
Well, I would say Jake's best post game. It actually kind of pissed me off because I wanted him to go. Okay, the one on Saturday, he went ham. With his son in the back seat, he just like, how do you get shut out by the White Sox? The one on Sunday, Joe, Dave, you guys tell me, did you like the fact that he just talked about the Niners' upcoming season and didn't address the Giants?
Oh, I loved it. It was a great segue into the football season because
so you guys just roll with denial.
No, I
liked it.
That's called being passive aggressive. He was being passive aggressive to the Giants.
I got it.
The one yesterday was beyond me. I didn't quite catch the one yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but the one where
the Gabe Kapler one was pretty dark for me.
Oh, well, the Kapler one was just kind of weird, but his brother liked it, so kudos to Jake. Yeah. But
I mean, you gotta be
the Niners one. He literally didn't address the Giants game at all.
There was a comment on YouTube or one of our things that said, I don't get it. You're talking about the 49ers, but it's called the Giants post game. Like I got that's
it. That's
the point, homie.
I got it pretty early on, but I did want to see some vitriol from you. I wanted to see some anger. I mean, I got it on Saturday.
Yeah. What do you want?
I can't just yell about the Giants every day.
You can't do it all week.
Well, here's the thing. What are the expectations? Because I've been listening to some Giants podcasts and local radio, blah, 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 with Adames and bringing in the guy from Boston. His name's slipping my mind. But
Rafael Devers.
You bring in the chubby guy, and you got Verlander, who, God bless Verlander, can't get a win. But let me just ask you this, Hum Daddies. What is the general total number of wins of your expectation for this year? Is it 85+? Is it 90+?
Originally, it was, I would say it was around 90, hovered around there. And right now,
before this June swoon?
Yeah. I don't know what happened after that Devers trade, but it's gone so downhill. I mean, people are trying to say Chapman's going to save them. I don't see that happening.
He should. You guys,
and he comes back. I mean, he hits 240 with like 20 jacks a year. That's not good.
There's vibe though, Jake. There's vibe by getting Chapman back. I think that could mean something. But we need some big hits and big situations. Like you have things go against you a few times, but if Chapman comes up, hits a game winner, or we get off to a quick start in the game, that's all it takes sometimes to get a team going again. But you need to rally a few wins together. You can't just get one and expect.
Here's the problem, guys. You guys have been relying. This Giants team has been relying on the pitching staff on the whole season. It's not like the offense has done much. I think they're probably bottom third in the league. And so you can't just rely on the best relief pitching, best starting pitching, best pitching overall. All season's going to break at some point, and that shit broke last week.
Well,
you made a great point. That's actually 100% true, and it's kind of fool's gold,
Well, let me do a little history check here, okay? All of us are old enough to remember 10, 12, and 14, right? The even years, okay? None of those guys hit 30 home runs. They were literally playing with house money. They probably were not favored in any series in any of the titles that they won. But this time, because free agents are hard to come by for the Giants, they got one via trade. A big guy, who was the guy that said that Devers is a top 10 hitter in the league? Was that Kershaw?
Clayton Kershaw.
Yes.
Yeah,
Kershaw
okay.
live when they got
Okay,
him.
so they were able to get a free agent, not by his choice, because again, free agents, we've seen it with Judge, we've seen it with Ohtani, we've seen it with a bunch of people. You got one via trade. So now, and I see what Buster's doing. God bless Buster. And we don't need to get into Farhan because Jake's done enough of that just with our text thread. But Buster's doing his thing. And you add Adames, you add Devers, you re-sign Chapman. The offense should be, look, they're never going to be an offensive juggernaut, especially in that park. But the bullpen's fantastic outside of Julian Pont cursing the whole bullpen.
Oh,
But
my God. Yeah. Elmer really blew that one.
what I'm saying is you should have the components to have the expectation for 90 wins, but it hasn't panned out since Devers got traded there.
Right. And who knows what the actual, reason is. I mean, it was a shakeup, and sometimes those don't gel right off the bat. What I find really funny is the White Sox beat us with Austin Slater and Mike Tauchman, ex-Farhan Giants. Now we got DeSclafani pitching against us. We're just getting killed by these old
so bad.
Old shitty Giants.
No, this is like, look, you can call it a June swoon, but we're in July now. And if they're going to turn it up, the All-Star break is coming. Maybe you can reset there. But I'm sorry. To me, if the Giants won the World Series this year, it would be less surprising than when they won it in 10, 12, and 14.
Yeah, they have a better roster.
Less surprising?
Yes.
No.
Way less surprising.
Their pitching isn't even close to as good as it was.
Starting pitching in those years.
First of all, is their bullpen not number one in the league?
Maybe not now, but they were a few days ago.
Pre-Pont.
Pre-Julian.
Yeah.
No, they still are.
They don't have
number one.
They don't have. Okay, the number one person that they don't have, which I've always said, if I was a Giants fan, I would not have a Bonds jersey. I would not have a Will Clark jersey. I would not have a Tim Lincecum jersey. I would have 18 variations of Madison Bumgarner. That guy did something that is not talked about enough. Single-handedly won the World Series against the Royals.
I talk about him all the time. I name my daughter
I know you
after
do.
him.
I know you love him. What I'm saying is you don't have a Bumgarner. But in general, if you went top to bottom, if you include pitching and hitting in the bullpen and the starting pitching, I think this is the most talented Giants roster that I've seen since maybe 89.
What?
So, hey,
Prime
Jake,
Lindsey, Prime
Why?
Kane,
Why do you
Prime
say that,
Bumgarner?
Zach? Who on the Giants 9 hitters is more like Devers? Obviously, has got some good credentials, but other than that, who's better than compare him?
Okay, because again, you guys have
Jung
not had
Lee.
a 30.
What happened to him?
David, you guys have not had a 30 home run hitter since Bonds. I can see
I
Chapman
agree.
doing that. I can see Devers doing that. I don't
In a
know.
Giants jersey or in another park?
Devers
Because
could
you
do
play in
that.
San Francisco and it's the worst place to hit home runs, and all of
Well,
a sudden you get
81
swallowed
of
in
your
20
games
homers
are on the
instead of
road,
30.
and you play a fair share in Colorado. You should be able to make those numbers up. But yeah,
You'd think.
I don't know.
Everyone
I
should
honestly
pad their
thought when
stats in
that
Colorado.
I honestly thought when that Devers trade went down, I thought that this was going to be like a run, and it's been kind of the opposite way. But it's baseball. It's 162
Apparently,
of these things.
he's playing with a bad back and a groin. So
If there's any reason that Jeff Kent needs to go to the Hall of Fame, it's because of the point Zach just made about how hard it is to hit home runs and how many that guy hit as a second baseman, more than
Is
any
Kent
other
not
second
in,
baseman.
Dave?
And
no, dude,
No.
he's not even
on the list.
eligible anymore.
Really?
Yeah, he has the most
look up
runs
Jeff
as a
Kent's
second baseman of all time.
look at Jeff Kent's RBIs. It's more than a lot of big guys you would think of. He's got
Joe,
a
was
ton
he-
of RBIs. He's got like 1,700 RBIs.
Joe,
No.
was he connected to steroids? Is that why?
No.
No, it's just a mustache, man.
Yeah, he was a prick to the media, man.
Well,
The
he was
media
definitely
he's
a
another
prick.
prick to the media.
Yeah, well, so
That's
was
what
Barry.
it's all about.
Yeah, I know. But that
We've gone
shouldn't.
over it.
Okay, I got a question for you. So we got Bonds has got a statue coming his way. They just announced. Who of that 2010 to 2014 run would get the other statue if you could pick one? Madison, Lincecum, Posey.
I would give
Mad Bum
Bumgarner
or Posey?
15 statues.
Yeah, I would go Mad Bum, but it would probably be Posey, especially
It would
now
be
that he's in
Posey,
the front
right?
office. Yeah.
Well,
I think Timmy's pretty fun too. He's
Don't
But
forget
now-
Matt Cain. Don't forget Matt Cain.
Yeah,
I'm forgetting
I
Matt
mean,
Cain.
yeah, Matt Cain. Yeah,
Don't
he was-
forget.
I think they
Bobby
should do
Lopez and,
I think they should do a trio of
Well, they
Cain,
could do.
Bumgarner, and
yeah, they
Lincecum.
could do. Yeah, that
They
wouldn't
should do
be
the triple.
bad. They could do Bumgarner, Kane, and Lincecum. They could also
Ooh.
do what?
And then
Pablo.
the
I mean,
four
who
relievers.
Well,
who
this
were
isn't
even the
the-
hitters
This
outside
isn't
of
Mount
Pablo?
Rushmore. You don't get 4 of them at one time.
Pablo, Posey, and who? If you were to do 3
Pablo
hitters.
didn't even make the roster in 2010 for the
Ooh,
playoffs.
of that run, the 2010 to 14 run.
So in
It
10
was
years,
always-
Roll was huge. Aubrey Huff was huge.
You ain't giving a statue to Aubrey Huff.
I
Cody
think
Ross
Freddie
is
Sanchez.
statue.
wants a
Cody
Aubrey
Ross
Huff
had 2
statue.
home runs in a NLCS.
Cody Ross was amazing in the playoffs.
Cody
for the
Ross,
Giants.
Suro
yeah.
came up huge.
Mike Morris in 14.
Those were the
Edgar
flukiest-
Renteria in
Those were the
2010.
flukiest titles of all time.
Hunter Pence.
They
was huge
were.
in 14.
They were.
Canada was huge in 12.
Zach, if you recall, they didn't make the playoffs the odd years. They were that team, and then it was like
Posey's back.
they saved all their hops for one
Next
season.
Can't hate.
This guy sucks. Oh, is Macho's back? Nice. You gotta give him some more PT.
Yeah, we're about to lose pretty handily. here.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like that Bird song really blew it. You know, they had a
Those Jackson
up
gave
2-0, and then Devers scored the 3rd run, and I think they reversed it.
By
And
the
then-
way, do any of you hum daddies remember the name Matty Medberry?
Absolutely.
I do, yeah.
That's who Birdsong reminds me of. And Matty Medberry, if you're watching, I miss you, bud. We were friends at one time, but you were a spoiled brat, and that's what Birdsong looks like. And yes,
Matty
I
was an-
bet
was an Eagle.
I bet on him to have more than 3.5 Ks like 5 days ago, and he failed me miserably.
Oh man.
Who's the dude I played with on the Cougars that was a stud? Nate? Something?
Nate Durham Hammer.
Nate Durham-Hammer.
Okay, Nate
Yeah,
Durham
go.
Hammer. Zach, we went undefeated when we were 7 and 8 years old
Yeah, we
for
beat,
the
we
El
beat him in the
Cerrito Eagles.
championship.
And Nate Durham Hammer almost ruined it. He hit a
Oh, he-
freaking home run out of Tasahara. I was
Facts.
playing second base. Went way over
Facts.
my head, over the fence.
Starkey, he hit it over the fence when we were like 7 years old.
I know.
He did it all the time. I played with the guy. Guy had
You were on
automatic
his
jacks
team?
all the time.
You know, I was watching a game at USD where I went to college. Loyola Marymount was playing, and I was watching the game, and Nate Durham Hammer stepped up to the plate, just this
Wait, are you
beefcake
serious?
in the 5-hole.
Really?
Or Nate Durham-Hammer?
Yeah. Ooh, do you think there's another one?
Well, who was he playing for?
Loyola Marymount.
Really?
You got a
I
scholarship?
had no idea that happened.
I didn't
Sick.
either. That's tight. Good for him.
Did Brian Graves play college?
No, but his
Tony
older
Tucker
brother,
played for Florida, right?
his older brother Kevin Graves, whose cell phone number I have in my phone, is in the front
call
office
him
of
up.
the.
Call him up.
He's in the front office of the
Get him on.
Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't think he's not president of operations or GM, but he's above like head scout. He's like somewhere in between head scout and GM of the Pirates.
He's like Paul DePodesta kind of.
Yeah, he's a big deal.
That's
All right. Well,
that
guys,
makes that a
this
big
is where
game.
this game got lost here. It was 3-0, and then they took a runaway, and it was 2-0 going to the bottom of the inning. Birdsong throws 10 balls in a row, 10 in a row. On the 11th pitch, you know what happened? 3-run home run for
You know,
losing.
I am impressed. Like without fail, the size of these guys' asses. You know, that's where the power comes from.
Seymour Butts, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
You know who's a huge ass guy? Pause. Phil Simms, Super Bowl winning quarterback for the New York Giants. Phil Simms. All
Yeah.
he talks about is quarterbacks' asses.
Yeah, I think I kind of heard that.
No, like literally, he doesn't care about how they throw, how tall they are, nothing. The only thing he
Look at
looks
the haunches on that.
only thing he
I'm
looks
just-
at is the ass, which
Big,
brings us to why
big
Jake's
Jamarcus
beating
Russell fan? Who do you like?
Oh yeah, Russell's got a big dumper.
I might have to go find some YouTube videos and play a few Phil Simms key highlights on our live pod.
Just type in Phil Simms butt size. The guy goes on rants about it. It's all he cares about.
Jake, what's up with your lighting? It's like mood lighting. Like you're waiting to make out with somebody in there. Can you get a light on
Phil Simms to come and talk about my butt?
Gabe Kapler mood lighting he's got.
Yeah, Phil Simms would definitely give a good critique of your butt. I don't know if he'd like it or not.
There's a really funny thing that our guest from last week, Paulie McCaffrey, he got pranked he hates the Giants, hated Phil Simms, and Murph paid for a cameo of Phil Simms saying,
"Oh,
hey, Paulie,
yeah, there's
happy birthday
for that." Yeah.
I know you're a huge fan." And Paulie was so pissed. It was hilarious.
That's tight. He told that on the cast.
No, I just remembered it from years ago.
Oh, yeah, I had to tune out of that cast because within 5 seconds of it, I was dissed.
It's free publicity, and I name dropped you. I gave you a shout out right off the bat.
That whole thing of any publicity is good publicity is a farce.
Maybe to Sean Puffy Combs, but not to you.
By the way, they came back. They have reached an agreement on 4 of the 5 charges.
Wait. Do you know what? Did they announce what it is? Like the verdict?
No, the only one that they're not in agreement on is the racketeering charge. The what do they call it?
RICO case?
The RICO charge. They're up in arms. So the judge said, then just come back and talk about it tomorrow. But of the 4 of the 5 charges, they've come to an agreement on, but they didn't say if it was guilty or not guilty.
I mean, you got to assume it's guilty, right? But
I honestly, and I know we're supposed to just talk sports here, but I'm going to go a little bit off the rails here.
You can talk about whatever you want.
Puffy, first of all, I think is 100% responsible for Tupac's death. So nobody loathes Puffy more than me because Tupac is my heart and soul. However, I think that all the shit that they did, all this freak off shit, from everything that I've heard and gathered, is that it was consensual. So if weird, rich, famous people do weird shit, that's not criminal. If you force somebody to do something, that's criminal. In this instance, hashtag free Diddy. And I hate to say it because I hate Diddy.
What?
Yeah. I mean, lock him up for killing Pac, but not this Cassie freak off shit. They all wanted to do
no, there's a video of him like fucking headbutting and beating the shit out of Cassie.
Okay, hang on. That's separate. That's domestic violence. Yes, he should be charged for that. But that was already dropped because Cassie got $25 million from him, and then they settled that shit out of court. This other freak off shit, and he did it with dudes too. I'm just saying, it all seemed to be consensual. They were doing a bunch of
lot of it,
shit.
yes, people with regrets, and that's not criminal.
Exactly.
But I did hear that I believe he raped a couple dudes and stuff. So that's
okay. Well, yes. Okay. Now we're having a different conversation.
All right. Next up on the podcast, Charlemagne the God. How you doing?
That'd be tight if we had Charlemagne.
David Starkey probably don't even know who he is.
That guy's great.
Timothy Chalamet? I know Timothy Chalamet.
If you can get him on the cast, if you can get him on the cast, we're cooking with gas.
It was great in the Bob Dylan movie.
Charlemagne, not Timothy Chalamet.
Charlemagne.
Poor Starkey. He really thought we were talking about the Bob Dylan movie. Charlemagne the God. It's Charlemagne the God. He runs like the #1 show in New York.
Yeah,
right. I don't know
what they talk about the entire show. They'll talk about Diddy and shit like that, which
All right, so what are we talking Giants wise? I've heard they're going to make another deal for another bat.
They were rumored to be interested in Tucker, the ex-Astro dude.
Next year, maybe, right?
I think they said he was like possibly on the market.
He's not on the market this year. I'll tell you that.
Well, there was a rumor that he was.
The Cubs are in first place. They're not trading their best player.
I mean, there's weird shit that happens.
Well, he's got a 1-year contract, so the Giants might be interested next year. But the Giants, unfortunately,
how many more assets do they have?
Their big guy is one of the top ranked that 6'7", 6'8" dude, Bryce Eldridge, right?
Yeah, when are they calling his ass up? That guy hit. I saw his AAA footage. That guy hit bombs.
But in spring training, he seemed kind of overmatched. He was striking out all the time. And they don't need more guys who strike out all the time. They have plenty of those. I can't believe how much Devers strikes out, man. It's so frustrating.
I mean,
and he pops up all the time too. It's the guy has like some of the weakest ABs of anyone in.
He's like Bonds without the jacks.
All right, guys. Here's my thought.
Without the contact, like the. I don't know.
Everybody's giving Buster all this credit for going and trying to win this year.
Right.
I think he fucked up. I think he blew his load on a team that wasn't good enough. And I think Devers, he's a good hitter.
Too early to tell. Joe.
I totally disagree.
I think
Rafael Devers has a track record of being a stud, dude. It's not he didn't fuck up by any stretch.
Well, he's got a track record of being a stud, but I mean, he also started when he was 19. But look how big he is. He's 28. I don't think he's going to be playing well for 10 years. I think that's a lot of money to pay for a DH, and you're not going to get anything.
He doesn't have a 10-year contract, does he?
He's 2 years into a 10-year contract.
So 8 more. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. I mean, look, again, Joe, I think that you're underestimating.
You think so? I don't think so.
Okay, Joe, I think you're underestimating how hard, even though it's the Bay Area, and Lord knows I've lived here my whole life. I love it more than anything in the world. It is hard to attract free agents to the Giants. So they have to do it via trade or some other.
Yeah. I completely think that's correct. I think what they did.
You know what free agents are doing, Joe? They're using the Giants as leverage. Aaron Judge flew to California just to get the Yankees to bump up their offer, and he never wanted to leave New York. So they got Devers via trade, and it's genius. That is not what Farhan did.
I agree with you. They can't get hitting,
It's just bad results right now, Joe. You're playing prisoner of the moment. Devers is a stud.
Yeah, you can't make an evaluation after the guy's been on the team for.
No, I think Devers is a stud. I just think he is on the backside of it.
No, I think he's right in the middle of it. I think yes. I think the
when
final
when he's
the final 2 years
playing third base and he's
Joe the final 2 years I will give you that. Maybe they'll regret it. Right now he's in the thick of it, and I think for the next you said 8 more. I would say the next 5 it's going to be a fantastic deal. The last 2,
I love that Buster went for it, and let me tell you the positives. I think that going for it,
Matos, get out of here.
I love that Buster going for it.
That's what we need anyway.
I'm not sure he should have. I also, I think you're right. Zach, you're right that they can't just go out in free agency and get Aaron Judge or Bryce Harper or Cora or
Shohei
whatever.
Yep.
So going through a trade is kind of the way to do it. I just don't know if they got the right guy.
Well, we'll see.
All right, let's talk about what's going on right now. Matos was player of the week last year. Remember, he had 19 ribbies in like 1 week.
Here's Devers.
God, he's fat. And
I hope I just talked dirty to him and he hits a 2-run jack right here. Let's go.
No, I want base runners. I don't want to.
So you got to give Devers a little bit of breathing room. The guy came out of a bad situation in Boston. You don't have no idea where he is mentally. Give him like at least a couple of months, and then we can start.
What the heck was that?
Talking about how shitty he is. But yeah, right now his swing looks like dog shit. I mean, wet newspaper to a max. I mean, the number of warning track balls I've seen off of Devers bat amongst Adames and the rest it's starting to get gross.
Ooh.
Adames is the real problem. I mean, I don't really know, like
Jung-Hoo Lee has his June was horrible. He hit like 110.
But he was hitting the ball hard, just at guys. A lot of those ABs.
Well, early on he was. Then he started K'ing in big moments. Oh, there's a K for Devers. Swung through it. Attaboy.
Jesus, right down the fucking heart, dude.
Right down the.
And it was off speed, which is what he's supposed to be able to hit.
It was like a hanger, basically. It wasn't even that good of a break.
It was a hanger. It was an absolute hanger right down the middle, and he swung through it.
What the hell is
his
wrong
swing's
with that
fucked up. He needs to go sit with Bonds for a bit. Get a little
get that, yeah.
Oof.
The Bonds cage magic.
Man, Wilmer's got a funny stance. Looks like
Boston may have got the better of us. You never know. We'll see.
Bautista or something.
Yeah, what if Harrison's a Hall of Famer? Guys, this is not cool, man. How
Who do we trade? Carlos. Remember we got Carlos Beltran. Did we trade Zach Wheeler for him?
Oof.
Yeah.
Ouch.
We
I
traded.
hope that's not. I hope
Joe
that's not
Nathan for
the comp.
Brzezinski.
Oof. That's rough.
We had Brzezinski for 1 year, and Joe Nathan was like a Hall of Fame closer.
That's right.
And Liriano or something was it?
And Boof Bonzer. Yeah, and yeah,
Francisco
what was his name,
Liriano?
He
Yeah,
was like
Francisco Liriano.
Yeah, he was dope for a few years as a starter.
Yep.
This is pathetic. This is
Ouch.
Bush League amateur hour, guys.
All right, we guys want to go through the trade talks on the NBA?
Oh, I can go ham on that.
Go for it, man.
Dame.
A lot of action.
Tell me what your feelings are about Dame getting the waiver.
Bucks,
Good for
the
him,
Bucks.
bad for him.
Dame said he's thrilled.
I bet.
First of all-
Miles Turner.
First of all, I got like a billion thoughts on the NBA. Number one, bet whatever the Rockets is to win the title because they are so big. Literally, pull up the Rockets roster. They are going to be so good. And I think the best coach in the NBA is Udoka. And the only thing that they needed was somebody because they lost to the Warriors in 7. All they needed is a guy like Durant. They got Durant. And they gave up Green, but that's it. Kept everybody else.
God
intact.
damn it!
The Rockets are going to win the title. Unless OKC is just like a full-blown dynasty and they win like 9 straight. The Bucks move, first of all, genius.
Wait, can I comment? Can I comment on your Rockets?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, so KD, I understand in the playoffs they got better, but don't you think during the regular season they're going to be quite a bit worse than they were last year? Because
No,
of,
Green?
not at all. They're going to be way better. I have them
You think-
being, unless the Thunder can replicate, which first of all, I'm going to be doing a podcast here soon, and I'm going to talk about asterisk titles. Number 1 asterisk title.
Asterisk.
Number 1 asterisk title is when
Asterisk.
ask Rick.
ask Rick about the asterisk. Kobe, when Kendrick Perkins got hurt for the Celtics and Ron Artest hit a backboard 3 in Game 7, that is an asterisk title. Number 2,
Dude, yeah. Kobe went 3 for 17 in Game 7 or something.
fact. And the Raptors title, when Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant was hurt, it should have been a 3-peat. Asterisk title.
And we just talked about Looney had a broken chest plate.
Fact. Also,
Yeah.
and this is against the Warriors, but when the Warriors won their first
Against
one
the
and
Cavs.
Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving were hurt, that's an asterisk title. Both of the Rockets titles when they won with Hakeem Olajuwon are asterisk titles because Jordan may or may not have been forced to play baseball for a couple of years. I got asterisk titles up the wazoo. Anyways, in terms of Milwaukee, total panic move. Signing Miles Turner is not going to make the alphabet Giannis Antetokounmpo want to stay with Milwaukee. That was a complete panic move.
Is the Turner signing official?
But cutting
so.
Dame makes sense because he tore his Achilles. He's not going to play. By the way, if you guys haven't mentioned this on your Hum Daddies podcast, 3 players that wore the number 0, Halliburton, Tatum, and Dame, all tore their Achilles, and they all wear number 0.
Wow.
Does that mean Kuminga's going to tear both of his next year? Because he wears
double zero, right?
Does he wear 0?
No,
Double zero.
GP did.
So he's going to tear both Achilles?
Yeah.
We had a zero and a double zero.
That's some bullshit. We didn't get a real number.
Yeah.
Where did GP2 go?
I don't know.
I think he hasn't. I think they just
not
not going to
re-signed?
resign him.
And by the way,
just-
Looney why would Looney go to the Pelicans?
Because they
money,
paid him
baby.
a shitload of money.
They 2 years,
16.
like $9 million?
16.
9
16.
each, or it's 8 each. That's a
That's-
lot for him, dude.
Hey,
Yeah,
you gotta get that money.
He's at the tail end.
Devin
He's a
Booker's
backup.
about to get $75 million a year. $8 million's not a lot.
Devin Booker is not Kevon Looney, homie.
I
totally
know,
different
but
players.
still, the Warriors couldn't bring him back for 8 per.
No, he took pay cuts in the past too, so it's
We don't got any
kinda
money.
fucked up.
Yeah, he needed to finally make a payday.
Yeah.
Okay, so Looney's gone. GP. So what the fuck are the Warriors going to do?
Dude, Giannis is pissed that Dame got cut, so that's an option. You know, I'll take him.
Somebody on the pit thread, Jake said, I think it was Dom. He said Giannis might as well already have a Warriors jersey on. I don't think. You think he's going to the Warriors for what?
I said that.
There's no way.
What do you
For
mean? There's
what?
no way.
How do we
what?
afford Giannis? How do we?
That's what I'm
Kuminga's
saying.
gonna go. Like, you can do a sign and trade with Kuminga.
Yeah, but I don't think the numbers work. I think you're going to have two.
Yeah, they do.
You're
I don't know how the numbers work either.
You can
I don't
bring
even
You're
know
gonna have
numbers.
three. You're gonna have 3 max players.
Super max. I think Steph Curry makes
and
the
Butler
the
would have
least.
to be part of it too, obviously.
Welcome.
Are we here? Are we live?
Mad Dog.
What are we talking about? Giants baseball?
You have a
No,
dog,
we
Mad
moved
Dog?
on from that.
Rough
No,
go.
I definitely don't have a dog.
Who's
I've got a
barking?
3-year-old kid.
Who's
Yes, we
barking?
do.
Is
Looks like, that'd be
is he
Dave.
barking?
Coco,
yeah,
quiet.
yeah. Izzy's just barking like a dog.
All right, I'm gonna tap out,
yeah.
boys.
Let
I'm
me
gonna
introduce
Joe
this
step
guest. Are you out?
Well, I'm gonna let Joe step in. Yeah, I'm out.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you,
there's only
Zachariah,
room-
for the
yeah, only
NBA
room for
insight.
Zach.
Four
You got it.
squares here. Love you, Z.
Love you too, Mad Dog.
NBA Insider.
NBA insider Zachariah, formerly of 95.7. So we are now joined by Joseph Flannery. If you need a mortgage in the San Francisco Bay Area, talk to Joseph. This was a
Love
really
it.
shitty
Thank you.
game. It's been a really shitty stretch here for the Giants. So I don't know if that's something you want to talk about, but the floor is yours.
Well,
Joe.
I didn't see one pitch from tonight's game. I saw the final score. I usually, if I miss the game, I'll watch like the YouTube highlights. But
No
lately,
need.
I've been kind of checked out. Exactly, like it's a 162 game season. You kind of take a couple weeks off. But I mean, how did Devers do? Let's start there.
Well, he got a double, and then he got thrown out at the plate. So they were up 2-0. Willie Adames hit a home run.
Was that a Matt Williams error sending him like that?
No, I think it was more of a
That was the last game I watched. It was like, dude, laser beam left field. I know Lee is fast, but that was a very questionable send.
When
That was a bad one, Joe.
Indians
I
dude
remember.
Quan threw him out.
The guy was
Right.
playing in left fielder, and it was just a laser beam right at him.
One
On,
hot.
And
right?
like,
Even Quan.
yeah, it was like a one hop, and Matt Williams sent him. And it would have been 1 out, runner on third.
Joe.
Yeah.
So Devers struck out twice and popped up as well.
So Joe,
I mean,
was
I
it just
thought
a
we
str-
got this guy, so I mean, we can start winning these 1-0 games, these like close pitching games. Yeah,
I can't
he
hit.
really has underperformed since the
He
trip.
strikes out at least 2 or 3 times a game.
It was also how he struck out. Jake and I noticed he swung at a hanger right down the middle. I mean,
Sorry,
like,
Joe,
he
you were
just-
telling me you were giving me the play-by-play on Devers.
Well, yeah. I mean, he had a double early, and he was on second base, and base hit up the middle, and Williams sent him, and he was safe. And then they went to replay, and they called the fat ass out because he's so slow. He should have easily scored, but he didn't. So it was going to be 3-0.
Was he hot dogging or was he hustling?
No, he's just not fast.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was going to be 3-0, down to 2-0, and then the top of the bottom of the inning, Birdsong comes in and throws 10 balls in a row. The next pitch, the 11th pitch of the inning, is right down Broadway, 3-run jack. They're down 3-2.
Okay.
And
Wait,
never-
by the way,
never
can I
looked back
just
from that.
say how happy and impressed you guys that I am with you guys that you're dialed in for some early July Giants baseball here, and then just bringing like Giants sports talk legends onto the show. It's man, what you guys are doing, it's fun to watch on the sidelines. Kudos to you.
Well, thank you, Joe. And I'm glad you're impressed with our Giants sports talk legend, Zachariah, who just
I mean, the reality with the Giants is they got this hot start and they just kind of fooled us. We thought they were something that they weren't. But you look at this roster, and you said, and if you had told me at the beginning of the year what it's like 45 and 41, 45, 42, so is the win-loss record.
Oh my God, that happened quick.
Yeah.
You know, that's like kind of exactly where I would say we'd be at this time of year, if
Totally.
you just based on the roster. I think like
But
the
Joe,
over-under, yeah.
Do you think if the Giants had reversed it a little bit and started off really slow and gotten hot right now a little bit, that maybe you're like, oh, this team's changing? Like, is this just the 162 game season, and maybe I think we're a little bit just disgusted by you make a big trade and it doesn't work out immediately, and we're thinking it should just have that snap your fingers and we're going to win an extra 5 games over the stretch, and we haven't. But I think we need to wait till after game 100. After game 100, those first 10 games after game 100 is when we're going to know what we have.
I don't think anything's going to change after 100. I think we're just asking players to be something that they're not. We're asking Ramos to be this stud cleanup guy, and he should be like a 7th hitter,
solid 6 hitter on like an AL team or something.
Yeah, we're asking Flores to just be this big, RBI produder, and
he
has to be a leadoff hitter.
And he has, and is that going to continue? It's kind of
wishful thinking.
It's wishful thinking. Chapman being out as hurt. He's kind of like the spirit of the team.
Well, I think that's a good point too. Is we had a lot. There was no injuries the Giants had until Chapman got hurt, like 0, and then they got a flood of injuries, and it all kind of hit them at the same time. And I think the fortunes changed a little bit. But I tell you,
Schmidt was looking really good, and he's been out.
Analysis, like 0 stats on this. But I think the Giants won a lot of 1-run games early in the year.
Absolutely did, yeah.
7 in a row or something. They were,
and so like that's bound to change. Like it's just there's
stats.
There's
Robin
there's
stats.
some things,
Miss O'Connor.
That I heard from the last show you called. What was the nickname for Dave? With his stats,
Chat GYP.
Chat GYP.
Yeah. So I don't, I have no statistical or empirical evidence, but I feel like they were winning a lot of close ball games, and then you're like,
the odds are bound to change.
That's just gonna change.
Yeah, I mean,
it was inevitable.
It was, but the season's not over or anything. I think they can compete. The top part of the rotation is, they're pretty top heavy, and that's how you win in the playoffs. So
I hear you. I mean, if this squad gets us to a wild card game, and kudos to the staff and the team to just kind of maximizing their talent and what this roster is, if we can have a playoff experience.
And we've had the best bullpen in baseball for most of the year. So I mean, I think Buster's trying to build something similar to what the Sabian and Bochy teams were, where you rely on pitching. Build a really strong bullpen, and you just gotta hope for some clutch hits. And that shit isn't happening lately. I'll tell you that.
we just need a few more clutch hits every game,
dude. Like all the, our championship teams, that was all homegrown. So Buster, that's a 10-year outlook to see, how well Buster's performance is on the team, is how well he can draft.
Right, but a lot of the bullpen, they're homegrown guys, and a lot of the couple of the starters are homegrown. I mean, he didn't draft them, but they're developing those guys pretty well.
I hear you. I tuned in for just again, like I am the worst person to talk Giants baseball because I don't watch that. But I tuned in for but I do love the team. Yeah, I do love the team. So, but I tuned in for like the White Sox. And there was a rookie making his his
Seymour.
First. Seymour.
We went over
this guy had some serious movement on like mid-90s. I'm very impressed with just watching him pitch that half inning.
You wouldn't have liked him today.
Okay.
He came in and gave up, I think, 4 earnings and maybe an inning and 2/3 or 2. It was bad.
Dude, the Diamondbacks were hitting that sinker. That thing was
Diamondbacks hit 4 home runs today off of the Giants pitching.
Wow, I guess I gotta watch those highlights. This guy was throwing like 95 with just sink. Maybe it was lefty.
This is like Birdsong. Birdsong's got great stuff, but if he's not locating,
just collapses
he can get
now after a few innings. I think he
think
was overworked last
He
year.
completely collapsed. If you guys didn't see that,
he needs to go back in the
absolutely
pen. He needs to go back in the pen.
I think he gets gassed. Like he needs to build up his stamina.
Yeah, I think it's also he's mentally gassed.
And then he just grooved one, and the guy was the game.
Yeah, he's kind of a chunky looking, like, you know, he looks like Bobby from King of the Hill a little bit.
That's good.
The thing that I just can't get over, guys, is
never watched that show. I just kind of stopped with The Simpsons when it came to cartoon shows.
It's all going full circle now. More Simpsons talk, more Seymour talk. I love it.
Yeah. All right. So we're live here on YouTube. This is a cool app that you guys got me downloaded here. So we're live on YouTube.
We are.
You can chat us up.
So, and then you also record this too, so you can just take in great sound bites out of it.
Well, we can do that, but what we're trying to do now is, I don't know how much I can take of watching the Giants for, you know, and talking about them. But we were thinking we'll do like a Manning cast for Giants games. And,
I love it, but you can't have, like, obviously you can't have the game, you know, on your screen. So you're just
right. Yeah.
I mean, we can if anyone cares to see us.
yeah, exactly. You could pay the MLB.
Throw down like 500,000 for
Yeah, I think Zach was actually a part of some startup that was just burning cash,
with those the phone game thing.
He had me join. It was like you create an avatar and you go into a room like this, but then you could like watch the screen on the screen with your avatar, and then you can like bump into people and like have conversations.
And there's something with green aliens going on too.
Yeah, it was so bizarre, and I'm like, gosh. Then you look at Crunchbase, and this company's raised like tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah,
just flushing it down the toilet with nothing to be concerned
I'm
about.
sure the founders made out just fine. It's amazing how much money it pays to just burn money these days.
Starkey, it was like an alternate alternate broadcast of basketball and football games and stuff, and it was Zach, and I think he would have like Ant and Gabe and stuff on it. And there's like a little game you could play with little green aliens. It was like Pac-Man or something, and it was the most bizarre app.
It was totally bizarre. I got in. I don't know what they were expecting. Like, you're just supposed to like chat up like the person. It was so bizarre. You had to. You got your avatar. You like bump into somebody. You're like, "Hey, what's up?" Oh, okay. Then you could just like make your voice heard, and if you want to overtake the room, and then all of a sudden you have Zach. Zach's like the moderator. Basically, Zach is like, he's like the babysitter almost of this crew. Just like, hey guys, take it easy, or just kind of facilitating.
Yeah, and it showed like how many people were on, and usually it was like one or two. It was very strange.
Yeah,
but he was getting paid for it. That's Zachariah. He's a radio legend. Melvin.
So all three of you got the kids asleep right now?
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
What round the horn? What time is bedtime for your children?
Can I just say Hunter Pence has been the bad luck charm of this downfall? But
send him back to Egypt.
Hey, dude, don't talk about Hunter like that. That's my boy.
That's your boy?
Hunter's the nicest guy.
Really?
He is.
Yeah, he really is.
He's super. He's super.
I
cool.
hear that he big times a lot of like reporters and stuff, or just doesn't like remember their names or anything.
Well, he's big time.
I don't know if that's true or not, but he is a very nice guy. He's my neighbor.
Does he live in the tower?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Can we get him on the pod?
Dude, the reason why why Hunter and I are friendly is because I don't ask him for a damn thing.
Joe, you always got to ask for something at some point. So maybe first you bring him over something, and then later on you ask for a favor.
Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't work like that.
How's the tower?
Get him some Longbridge pizza.
Longbridge pizza that is pretty good.
Oh, that's a Paulie Mac thing, right?
That is a Paulie plug.
That's
right
right
there.
Oh, okay. What, he has some?
We've sold our soul to Paulie Mac.
Paulie Mac
He just likes it.
His podcast, they sponsor Longbridge
Longbridge
all
okay.
the time.
So right next to Longbridge in Dogpatch is a bakery that I think is pretty damn good. One of the top bakeries in the city.
Is it Neighbor Bakehouse?
Yeah, you got it.
So good.
Joe
When I worked at
Flannery
Pier
knows
70,
his,
that was my regular spot.
food spots.
Right on.
That
So-
Bostock, you know?
To answer your original question, Joe, Mila goes to bed around 7:45 lately, and Jordy's at 7. What about Azara?
She goes to bed around 8:30, but it seems like
Too late.
we
It's too late.
yeah, I hear you, dude. Call child services.
Um,
But I hear, dude, we like add more and more stuff to the bedtime routine.
Be careful.
It's like, you know, you do one thing and then next thing you know,
You have to
want
do
it
it
every
forever, for
night.
life.
Yeah, exactly. You got like 10 items you got to check.
Now
before
do
you-
this. Now
My
do
wife
that.
screwed me. So we're putting Hudson to bed. Next thing I know, I gotta read him a story, like a couple of them, and then I gotta make up a fucking story off the top of my head every night, and then I gotta sing him a song. I gotta do this whole song and dance every night, and
Hey,
Man,
Joe,
you're
once
his
upon a
dad.
time,
Okay, he's not your dad.
Joe, once upon a time on our pod, you
You're the
said
boss.
I fed my son his meal. I told him a story. I sang him a song, and now he's asleep. You bragged about it, and now it's going back to haunt you.
no,
I
I
just
was
broke
already
in his
screwed at
crib.
that point. It was just part of
Okay,
my my work I had to put in for that evening.
your indentured servitude.
Yeah, well, but it was like once you go there, it's really hard to unwind it.
Yeah, I mean it's hard with Mila because I'm kind of soft with her, so she kind of runs the show sometimes. But Jordy, he's a boy, he's a big fella. I just toss him in the crib and close the door.
Shut the fuck up, Jordy.
Yeah.
He goes to bed.
That's the way to do it.
Is
Hey,
this A's Game Live?
Jake, how do you think you're gonna parent Jordy differently than your dad when it comes to youth sports?
Same. He's doing the same thing. It
Yeah.
worked, right, Jake? It worked.
Hey, Jordy, you piece of shit. You had no effort, no dedication. I'm sorry if that got too real, but no,
Hey,
I'm
this is the
gonna
Hum
be totally
Daddy
hands
show.
off, dude. I think it's pathetic how there's like I watch Gunner, my nephew's games, and some of those parents are just so pathetic. They keep track of like war for 10-year-old
No, they do not.
baseball players. Yeah,
War.
they're like these tech dudes in San Ramon and shit. Yeah, it's pathetic.
Wow, I would think that this generation of parenting would be more the opposite. Like, hey, strike out or hit, it's all good, just do your best. Less kind of results.
That's if you
focused.
know your kid's gonna suck at sports, Joe. But if you think your kid is good, you do not. I wouldn't do that.
Then you start geeking out statistically.
No,
My
I
kid-
wouldn't
My,
geek out
my kid
statistically. I don't care
had
about.
an OPS of 800.
Yeah,
You know what a good
so
performance
it depends
is,
on the
though?
kind of. It depends on the
Yeah.
kind of parent because there's a lot of tech guys that were like dorks and didn't, have any ability in sports, but they're influenced by this new generation of your Farhans and your whoever, and so they're like really into that aspect of the game, and it's really pathetic.
That is pathetic.
I was with a friend the other day, and he couldn't make his son's game. That it was like a weekday, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, or something. He had some work event, and he pulled up his phone on the app. He could follow like a game cast of his son's at bat and like where the ball went, how many balls
Yep.
and strikes. It was like a
Little League?
Major League Baseball game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Alameda Little League. It was crazy.
So it's,
Yeah, Joe.
that's crazy that it's Gamecast and not just like a live feed. Because I could envision having some sort of live feed access, with technology, but it's Gamecast.
So the way that works,
It's like Billy is
Just-
2 for 4 when the things were in a double, and the count is 3-2.
And they have like exit velo and stuff. That's
Well, it's
so
cool.
weird.
You can, if you're out of town or something as a parent, you can track it.
Yeah, I was blown away by how like every high school game has a box score online now. Like we didn't have that.
We did. It was
everyone's
in
stats-
the West Contra Costa Times. Well, for
But I
varsity.
mean, you could look
Whatever
up
that
everyone's
newspaper
stats
was.
and height and weight online. Everyone has a player profile. That'd have been sick when we were young.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
much
true.
now, if you can fill out the book in baseball, you can do it on the phone, and that creates the game cast. So you can do it for high school, you can do it for anything, and you can create your own leagues. It's super easy. So it's
Oh yeah,
pretty
Chat
legit.
GYP tell you that?
No, shut the fuck up, then.
Oh, but I didn't get the answer out of you, Jake. Because with Jordy, because you talked about the San Ramon parents. So like, how do you think you're going to be as a?
I'm
as
totally
kind of like a
hands
Little
off
League
with
guy?
that stuff. I'm probably
You
going
think
to
you're going to be hands off? Just let the. Are you? So you don't plan on coaching your kid?
Not really. I mean, I would think I'd be more hardcore with Mila, like in soccer or something.
Wow, didn't see that coming.
You go full Nina on Jordy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna just say, hey man, do whatever you want.
I can't wait for Leashy to be the hard ass
Jake
in the
and I are
sports
the
game.
youngest, dude. Dude, Jake and I
Yeah.
fucking had. Dave, you have an older sibling,
He has an
or
older
you have an
sister.
older sister? Okay. Yeah, I don't. Joe, I know, is the oldest, but man, now I only have one kid, but I can imagine just how it's just different.
Yeah, Joe, to your
You know.
point, like I don't want to put Jordy through that shit, man. It was nuts.
Yeah. I hear
But I
ya.
will with the girl.
How about you, Joe? Your son, Hudson, he's he's coming up. Is he in Little League, or did he just have his first T-ball or something?
Think about doing it next year.
Okay.
So he'll be 7 next year. I think we're talking about starting then. He's
he
not
interested
that
in it?
interested in sports that much. So I'm not really.
So are you going to force him to play T-ball or Little League, whatever the first?
I'm going to give him every opportunity to. So
Is he into
I
the
don't know what
arts
that
at all?
means, dude. Are you going to like demand that he goes to sign him up, pay money, get him a uniform, get him on the team, or no?
I mean, like we did that with soccer, and it didn't really work out. And I play baseball with him in the backyard and try to like work on some things. But at the end of the day, if he's like, I don't want to play baseball or I don't want to do this, I'm not going to make him do it.
Dude, Mila got gifted a tee and like a wiffle ball, and she was going to town on it over the weekend. She loves taking cuts on that thing.
That's cool, man. I've had Azara have plastic golf clubs, like since basically she could walk, but I can't get her to like be standstill and like swing. I just basically like where we have it is she'll just like run around and hit a balloon. That's kind of where we,
So
but I
she's
try to
ready
make
for
it
field
fun.
hockey.
Yeah, exactly. It's more field hockey.
We did this fun thing this last weekend. We had this, it's like a sprinkler, but it like elevates the ball with a spout of water. And so it's like a tee at the level of like a tee. And then so you just put the ball on the water like a tee and you just hit it. Like sunny day, everybody's running around. Yeah, it's fun.
It's like that Lawrence Hall of Science thing where you put the beach balls up and they blow them up. If you know what I'm talking about.
Well, Joe, I find that like really surprising given your love of the game and you have, firstborn son, that like you wouldn't, make it a requirement to at least play a couple of years of T-ball before you kind of can opt out.
I think we're going to do that as kind of like we're going to just make that happen.
Yanni Diaz, Oppo?
So
yeah,
well, Randy was no pleasure either, right? I mean, he wasn't. He was fine, I'm sure, but like he was a tough dad with baseball and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, like I enjoyed my time playing. So
yeah, I know, but I'd want to
run it back if I could.
Yeah, our dads are hardcore guys.
Starkey was super talented, but the thing about your dad
don't tell him that.
Oh, don't tell that.
No, he gets pissed at me every time I talk about how good he was at sports.
Well, because you make it seem like he just like shat the bed. You're like, dude, you're 6'4", you're fucking have hand-eye coordination, and
he was amazing. Yeah, he was the best.
Bed.
No, I say, how could you have walked away?
If only you had done XYZ, you could have been the greatest.
No, I don't say that. I just say I can't believe you walked away. You were very talented.
Well, I don't want to say you walked away. You played varsity baseball.
Quit football though. He was a quarterback.
I did quit football.
Yeah, but football wasn't his. That wasn't his DNA. Starkey, I know Joe very well. Him and I went to freaking kindergarten at the same time, from kindergarten through on. And Joe was basketball, baseball. And baseball was really number one, but I'd say basketball is number two. Joe was a really good basketball player. We were on a.
We beat him.
Is that when you were with Milwaukee?
Yeah. Henry.
Oh yeah.
Henry.
Well, first, hold on. I don't think that was true. But,
yeah, we did.
Because are you talking about one game in regular season or like in the championship game?
I don't really remember, but I remember.
All right. Well,
I think we won the championship. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think that was against Starkey.
Was Starkey on Connor's team at one point?
Yeah, Starkey was on Connor's team, and so that was a regular season game where Starkey went to Tahoe, and we played your team. I guess you were kind of a role player. But
no. At that point, I was double.
Oh, you're something now.
And Milwaukee was like the guy we had the game plan against. Okay,
he went for like 30 and 20 every game.
Your name did not come up in the defensive strategy session.
That's bullshit, dude. I would post up.
And Milwaukee was like the guy. Like, okay, who's gonna guard Milwaukee? Because Starkey's skiing in Tahoe. So we put Artie on Milwaukee. Because Artie is all grit, hustle, and sneaky athletic.
Very dirty.
Artie in fifth grade was, and actually Artie probably right now is pretty fast. Really, his entire athletic career, way faster than what he looked. And we were like, okay, Artie's good. He could get in his head a little bit. And Milwaukee just cooked Artie. Cooked.
I remember that game. We went for like 40.
I came back from Tahoe and I have never heard the end of it. Never. Still. How many years later? I'm still hearing about it.
It was all man to man. We never deviated from the strategy of putting Artie on freaking Milwaukee. Just got destroyed by Ant. I mean, Ant had anyway. Starkey if he was in that game, outcome would have been totally different. He was a hell of a basketball
we
player.
beat Starkey with Ant once.
No, I don't see that happening.
Go to basketballreference.com and check it out.
Yeah. I wish we could just
have
this catalog.
Like youth sports catalog, like the way that you guys are describing right now. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. It'd be so sick if we could look at box scores from
you can do that in high school now. Like they have everything is online. I went to go check out some guy from St. Mary's and went like years back. You can go like 20 years back.
Yeah. We have to
you guys
save
have
our
this
cutouts from the paper
going on with Home Days. I've had this idea for a long time that there should be more social media around like youth sports. Like people, parents are so gung ho about it. Think of an ESPN Sports Center or whatever, but for youth sports, and put that as like a social media app. Have it all.
That seems very toxic.
Doing sports.
What's that?
You want to mix social media and youth sports? Those are like two very toxic issues that will give children complexes for the rest of their life.
Well, toxicity is probably a good thing for.
Most of us relied on our high school careers to talk about it the rest of our lives. But if you get them started in fourth grade, they might get stuck on that.
I mean, we still go there. Obviously, we're talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Joe Flannery was. I played my first year of hoops with him, and he was a stud on that team with my brother coached it, right?
Yep. Yeah, that was fifth, fourth. You were fourth. I was fifth grade.
Yeah, you were like the tallest kid on the team.
I wasn't the tallest. I was probably I was a forward. I played the 3 spot. Burrow was our 5. Chris 2.
Yeah, we were stacked.
You were kind of like power forward. Yeah, it was fun. Jesse was one of the best coaches I had. He was a lot of fun and really brought I don't know, just tons of energy to that team. It's funny, these figures, they just stand out. I was fifth grade, but you still remember Jesse and his influence.
Did you do hoop camp? That was probably.
We didn't do any of that shit, dude. I'll be honest, I don't know how you guys feel. I know Jake likes to boast about his youth sports career, but I don't know how you guys feel. I feel like I totally underperformed in my sports career.
Starkey was
What do
the
you think,
best out
Dave?
of all
Do
of
you
us.
feel like no, but just like just
Me and Dave had the best
Starkey
Little
had
League team of all
Stark-
time.
Well, okay, the best team, Little League. I'm just saying, like none of us played D1 sports, right?
Correct.
Right, Dave? Okay,
That's definitely correct.
yeah. So I don't know how you guys feel. I feel like I totally underperformed.
I feel my senior year in high school, I started off well, and then and football too. I got hurt. I was, had some attention, but Milo just ran the ball every play, so I wouldn't have had a chance to go anywhere anyway, unless I gained a lot of weight. Joe, yeah, that was a tough deal for you playing bar baseball.
Me?
Yeah, at your
totally,
senior year.
dude.
Yeah.
It was.
You got Nichols.
You got Nichols.
But yeah.
You got Nichols.
I'm not. By the way, I'm not pointing the finger at anyone. It's me, but also it's like my really like my dad and like my parents. Like that's now that because we're all dads here, the hum daddy. Like now that you have kids, I'm thinking like, dude, if this was my kid, if I were the parent to myself, I'd be like taking my kid to get hitting lessons. Like we took zero hacks. We had zero. We didn't go to the batting cage. Nothing.
That was on Nichols, dude. That was
no doubt.
And
like
every
in the freaking
practice.
Cerrito Vista was like the worst place. Like all we did was focus on freaking bunt assignments and first and third.
Bunt coverage. Every practice was bunt coverage.
I'm driving a Moser. They got that nice batting cage.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't there. It was like you got like five.
No,
five
Nichols
hacks.
said Nichols said if you want to hit every day, you can pay him for private lessons. Which good on him.
Sure
But Warren gave us BP every single practice.
I'll say the best example.
Threw to us every practice.
No.
Yeah, he did.
Warren was the worst, dude. We practiced freaking plays where you cheated and didn't touch third base on the bunt.
I remember that. Jamie, that was so good.
When there was one umpire and you had a runner on second, there'd be a bunt down the third base line, and then the third baseman would throw it to first, and because there was only one umpire, the attention would be on the play at first, so the guy on second could just cut it off.
He liked to win, dude.
Third. We practiced that over and over again.
He won a lot, and he stole the most bases. His team stole the most bases in the league.
We did not take a lot of BP with Warren.
Every day we had 6 swings.
I had Warren freshman year. I had Coach Joe Purse my sophomore year. Then I had Nichols. Then I had Warren to round it out again. And each one had their own style, and I took away benefits from each one. The only benefit of Warren was if you knew what you were fucking doing, you could play a lot better. But if you didn't know, like you weren't going to practice anything meaningful under Warren, not in baseball. But by senior year, you got to kind of know what you're doing. So actually him after Nichols was like going from Mark Jackson to Steve Curran.
Totally. I was so jealous of you guys being a year younger than me. I wanted Warren so bad senior year.
Yeah, that was cool.
Senior year, we had all the prep.
Yeah, and then you played the Coliseum that year, right?
And we had Santarelli came back, and he was our infield coach. So he gave us tons of reps and gave us all the things we needed to be successful.
Yeah, that was an epic game. Side. Dude, that was one of the best high school games I've ever seen. Sorry, you guys were on the losing side.
Yeah, it was very cool. To answer your question, Joe, I think I played mostly to my potential, but I always felt like I left something out at the bat. I feel like I was in my head too much.
Yeah,
dude, Warren would like chew me out in the middle of a game in front of everyone. I remember once we had a pitcher throw a ton of pitches, and I let off the inning hitting, and I swung at the first 2 pitches, and he called timeout and just said, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Dude,
are you a fucking idiot?
Could you imagine Warren in today's kind of world of cell phones and everything being recorded?
Yeah, I mean, I for some reason
I
love
the bench multiple times.
I don't know if this guy would be like a freaking folk hero, or if he would get canceled, so bad, and but he would definitely be
he didn't hold grudges.
He would be famous.
I don't think he held grudges. I think he got pissed off a lot, And I think it was just in general. I don't think he held. He just was like, it was just.
He had a quick trigger.
Quick trigger. That was all it was. It was like, as long as you didn't get bothered by it and you just kind of let it brush off your shoulders, it was kind of entertaining.
Yeah, I love that guy. He has a, I have a soft spot in my heart for him, and I think he was a great coach.
No, he was. I this is not to take away from where I'm just, it's different having a coach and different having like a parent who can really coach you too.
Right.
And I really do think you need that parent to maximize your potential.
I mean,
that's why musicians have great musician children, because they can teach them how to play an instrument right off the bat. They don't have to go get lessons, and a kid can just immediately go over and say, hey, how do I do this? How do I learn how to do math? Whatever it is, like as a parent, if you're good at something, you pass that along a lot easier than if you have to go out and get a tutor every time.
Yeah, but a lot of parents who weren't good at sports are hardcore with their kids now, and that's what drives me nuts. When there's a bunch of dorks trying to,
I think
hammer
my dad.
There's definitely a fine line.
Yeah.
What was that, Joe?
I would say my dad fell into that category. He didn't play sports growing up, so he's like, I want you to live the childhood I didn't get to have. And he threw a million balls at me, batting practice, and I would give most of the credit to whatever I achieved in it because of all the practice,
Yeah. So my dad was kind of similar to yours, except that he did not work with me at all. He just expected me to go out and dominate, but did not help in any way or to think about like, hey, what's some solutions to improve your ability? There was never a thought of how I can like get involved here.
I'm just glad, YouTube and, Google and everything didn't exist then. My dad probably had me on all these apps and shit. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
I just think there's such unrealistic expectations. Like my brother and my dad were like, if you actually worked hard, you'd be a Major League Baseball player. I'm like, do you know how fucking rare it is to be able to hit Major League pitching? It's like a 1 in a 10,000 thing. So don't expect your kids to actually.
They tell that to you now. They think.
No, they said that when I was like a teenager and I was trying to hook up with chicks and play music and stuff. And they're like, you need to be practicing more. And I'm like, sorry, I can't. I don't have the hand-eye coordination of Barry Bonds. My bad.
Yeah. It's once you see
I can hit 380.
Once you see freaking like Dontrell Willis, you're like, this shit ain't gonna happen.
We faced Bud Norris.
We all faced him, right? Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, dude, like a 90-mile-an-hour fastball inside, like on the hands, but kind of on the corner. That was impossible to hit for me. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, dude, fucking my bat speed was so slow that it's like when, someone's throwing like high 80s, you're basically starting your swing when the ball is like, coming out of the hand. Like you're just guessing, like, okay, I assume this is going to be a strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, and I would mimic like different guys' stances, depending on what year it was. So I'd try to do like the Jeff Kent thing or Bagwell, and I'd just have all this, motion that was wasted. There's no chance I could catch up to those like 90-mile-an-hour fastballs.
Yeah.
All right, well,
I hope our children. I'll be curious to see kind of how how it all shakes out for our kids.
Jordy, I think is going to be a left tackle if Leachy lets him play football. But I mean, that's where the real payday is. If you have size and you just lift weights and eat a lot, you could be a left tackle.
Dude, I still think that of our friend group, the guy that should have been most likely to play professional sports is Andrew Keogh.
Really? He's not that tall.
Look at centers, man.
Centers aren't. They're like 6'1".
They're not super tall. This guy fit the freaking profile of center, and I don't know if Dave, you knew Andrew in first year at Davis.
At Davis, he got raped, so he quit.
Dude, that I don't know, but he was like 330 or
they hated the hell out of him. He had enough.
Jake, over Christmas, you sent me a video with you playing El Cerrito football, and they were just drooling over Andrew Keogh, saying he's got scholarships to go here, maybe Stanford. They just thought he was it.
Yeah. He was really, really quick off the line, and then just had the build and like the the right size to play center. He was also very intelligent, which you need to be to play center.
Yeah.
And he really, I think, he had an actual love for like playing, which is rare for a lineman.
That I don't know, because when he went to Davis, you have to have him on the show.
That's because he got raped by the football team.
Yeah, I have no idea about the rape. When he told me, and this is like 25 years ago, but he told me that he wanted to play defense because that's more fun to play, because he played both ways at
He played defensive end.
Yeah, like D tackle or D end. And dude, that guy was he was built to play center, and he could have played in the NFL. He could have been Jason Kelce.
I mean, yeah, Jason Kelce's bigger though, right?
I don't think so.
How tall is Keo? 6'1"?
No, he's like 6'3".
He's like 6'3".
6'4" maybe.
6'3". Ian's
6'3".
Is Ian taller?
You're about the same height.
Yeah. I just saw those
6'3"?
boys. Yeah, they're that Keo head and the build. It's a real thing.
I remember
we're talking about high school sports here, and I just like reflexively went to my phone to look up Andrew Keo's height and weight, and it wasn't there.
Yeah, but
I remember,
dude,
on the program.
I'm telling you, you could ask him what his freaking height and weight was and he was super young. This guy, he should have been a year behind. He should have been your year, Jake, because he was
September birthday.
Yeah, his September birthday. A lot of our friends' parents, they kind of messed up the school year. Zach, Keo, like both those guys, they can you imagine them as their
Artie?
first year of college? Yeah, Artie, all should have been in the year. Yeah.
Well, Zach and Artie, it seemed like they were my grade because we played same year in sports all the time. But they were really young for 01.
Yeah,
should have pull a David Greenstone to that extra year out of high school.
Yeah, well, you and Pete and Dominic and Tony, you guys were kind of old, right, for your grade?
Well, yeah, Tony was a total exception because he was born in May. But yeah, like like Jesse Alter. Jesse Alter was born in August.
June or something. Oh yeah,
he was August. So like he was older than Zach and Artie and Andrew Keo, but grade younger.
Right. Alter was my year. No.
Yeah. Are you guys going to slice and dice this and put it on YouTube?
There's some good stuff here. I mean, maybe I can try and figure it out. But yeah, this is you brought some good energy here to make us forget about the Giants.
Yeah. Thanks, Joe.
God, man, I hate to be so negative, but I don't know what's going on here. The last week when they got one of 6 against Miami and Chicago, 2 worst teams in the league, save Colorado. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to see much going on there. Like if that was the Dodgers in Philadelphia, maybe, but I pray for a wild card spot.
I just want to get a win.
Yeah,
wild card spot. I'm watching your A's in Tampa Bay right now, and these guys just hit jacks. It's like guys who can really hit.
The A's have some bats, man. They've got some good bats over there.
So does Tampa Bay, and they're.
Are you guys gonna go down over to Sacramento and root for the A's
on Sunday? No, we're rooting.
By the way, I went to Sacramento to a game. So I went to Sacramento in early June. I saw the Phillies, and it was great. This whole thing started because I had like a free night at Hyatt, and it was about to expire. So I'm like, where should I?
The ultimate Jew move.
Where should
I just
go?
need to use this Hyatt experience.
You go solo?
So I looked up. Okay, there was Santa Cruz, there was Sonoma, and then there was a Sacramento, and it was kind of a nice one. And the Sacramento, I'm like, I've actually never been to Sacramento, which is crazy because I'm in the Bay Area. Yeah, never.
Never been to Sacramento.
Never been. So I looked at the weather because I'm like, I didn't want it to be like a 95-degree weather in Sacramento, and it was going to be gorgeous, like high 70s, low 80s. I'm like, all right, let's do Sacramento. So we went to Sacramento, stayed at this.
You went to my wedding, dude. That was 5 years ago.
Yes, I've been through Sacramento, and that was a different town with Carmichael
That's
And
Carmichael,
Mary-
bro. That's not
Suburb of
Sacramento.
Sacramento.
I showed up to the venue
Not
and
Sacramento.
left. Okay, that was it. I didn't go to the freaking state capitol. All right.
I don't think Jake's been to the state capitol before.
Have you been to the state capitol, Jake?
I went to the courthouse right next to it.
Did you go to a Kings game?
I've been to a Kings game. I've been to Kings Celtics. I've been to a River Cats game at that stadium. Yeah, I've been
All
to
right.
Sacramento.
Well, you guys are Mr. Sacramento.
And my sister fucking lives there. So.
All right, so I've never been. Didn't even know what the state capitol really looked like.
There's no way that's true.
I'm telling you.
You never had a tournament in sports?
Okay, maybe I've been to Sacramento, but I didn't do any sort of tourist activities in Sacramento. So
I've never done tourist activities in San
the
Francisco.
state capitol.
All right, so now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just be a tourist in Sacramento. Let me just go check out this town. It happened to be like exceptional weather, and it was beautiful. Like the park around the state capitol was beautiful. Walked
Old Town
across
Sacramento is
the Golden Bridge to the Sutter Health Park.
Yep.
So the A's were hosting the Phillies. Bought tickets to the lawn. So you just go out there. I don't know. Have you been to Sutter Health?
Yeah, I went for a River Cats game, and then me and Dave are going Sunday for. We're gonna have seats right behind the plate that Jack gave us because he designed built the
Wow, behind the plate.
Oh, nice. But you're not bringing your kids, right?
No.
All right, that's good. So I was with Azara, who's 3 years old. So I bought the lawn, thinking like, okay, she can just kind of run around. And man, the Phillies
or nap or something.
bullpen was so freaking cool. They were giving away balls like it was their job. They were just like finding people, just say, hey, here you go. You want a ball? And so I'm like, all right,
awesome.
let's see if we can get in the action.
It's minor leagues with the major league team. I can't wait to go experience this.
Did you get a ball?
Yeah. It was kind of a team effort. I sent Miriam down, my wife, who you guys know, and she's pretty attractive, so she kind of got the attention. Then I sent Azara after, and then I came in and they threw the ball to me for the catch.
That's funny. I had a very similar experience with Javi Lopez at Dodger Stadium. I always sat next to the Giants bullpen and just charged on Dodgers fans the whole time. And so Sergio Romo and Javi Lopez used to like laugh at all the shit I'd talk, and they'd hook me up with balls and sunflower seeds and stuff.
Yeah, they were super cool. It was, and I think maybe they felt sorry for the fans, like, oh, dude, I can't believe your team is left, or you're in Sacramento, or you're in this shitty park. But either that, or they were just that's how they were all the time. Because it must be annoying now looking at it, as a 42-year-old, like, it must be annoying AF to just be asked all the time for balls,
autographs.
Yeah. I mean, Affelt said no to me once when I asked for something, but the other guys.
I don't know where you guys stand, but adults getting balls and signatures, I think that's a no.
Balls are cool, especially I was in my 20s back then. I'm not going to ask for a ball now, but signatures. It's really weird how there's like those pro guys who sell them on eBay and stuff, and they like have 10 things for everyone to sign. It's very.
I went to the Warriors game.
And that's something to write home about. But if the pre-game and somebody tosses you a ball, you give that to a kid.
Joe Starkey took me to the Warriors game. We sat in like this beautiful suite, all you can drink, all you can eat, and
at the new place at Chase.
At Chase, this is very recently, and it was Hello Kitty night, and so we got the Hello Kitty giveaway.
Jonathan Kuminga, Hello Kitty.
Jonathan Kuminga, Hello Kitty.
You took it? You didn't just leave it behind for a kid to get it?
No, he took it for his daughter.
I've got a kid.
But wait.
Okay, boom, Christmas come early. All right, so I got the Jonathan Kuminga Hello Kitty. I'm walking out.
Jonathan Kuminga jersey or?
It's a Hello Kitty stuffed animal 00 in a Warriors outfit.
Okay.
Weird. So you got it, Jonathan Kuminga Hello Kitty. So
did it have the face of Jonathan Kuminga?
No, it was in the Hello Kitty. So okay. We got the giveaway, and then we're walking out, and these kids like very sweetly and kind of kindly was like, "Hey, could we have your giveaway?" And I was like, "No, I'm saving it for my kid." But these kids were super entrepreneurial because rather than giving it to my daughter because she's got a million toys, I have a friend who works for eBay, and part of his job is like the product manager is to kind of use the service. So he's always saying like, "Hey, if you got some unique stuff, give it to me and I'll sell it." So I was like, "Here you go, sell this stuff." He ended up selling it for like $80.
No, and you said it was $100.
Wait a second, Joe. So you said you were going to give it to your daughter, but then you said, "Nah, screw it. I'm going to make $80 on this." And so the kids that maybe wanted it, you assume they're entrepreneurial kids, not just.
Yes, I think they collected probably like 20, 30 of those Hello Kitties. We're selling them on eBay.
Right
Yeah,
I'm trying to find it.
That's like $80 a pop.
Do you know who else has a Jonathan Kuminga Hello Kitty doll? Kendall does, my daughter.
Oh, okay. So you didn't sell yours on eBay.
I don't think she's been using it very much this season. I might have to look up what it's selling for on eBay here.
Yeah, well, if you've taken it out of the box, it might have lost some of its value.
Oh, wow.
Put it in the box,
to Dave, to answer your question, I had to split the fee because there's my guy takes his cut.
This is some very dark material here, talking about kids and Hello Kitty and then the underworld of.
No, what I'm saying is these kids were super smart. They probably collected like freaking 100 Hello Kitties, and they just made like 8,000.
I heard Bill Burr talk about there's kids that like when you do a talk show.
Yeah,
in
what's
LA,
the price on that? Well, this is cool. You guys can share screens.
Yeah.
Does it show the price on that?
I don't know that it was connected to eBay. 63. No,
that's his autograph.
See, this is priceless. Can't even get it.
Can't even get it. I got a one of a kind.
That's an amazing stuffed animal there.
Just what a treat.
So thanks, Joe, for taking me that game. Not only did I not pay for a beer, for the ticket or anything, but then I made $80 on the sale of that Hello Kitty doll.
Doesn't Connor have seats like that? Zach took me to a game that he said
he's got a buddy who like basically like will sometimes even forget about him and we'll just give him away. But yeah, it's not a sweet
drink for free. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of it's not like the sweet specific, but it's similar. It's like it's the second floor, very corporate executives kind of sweet.
Got it. Dave took me to Oracle in the Durant days, and we were technically courtside club or whatever, but we were like, what, 4th, 5th row? And walked into the tunnel, and Klay Thompson was injured at the time. I was like, hey, Klay, what's up? And
have either of you guys been to the Gotham Club at Oracle?
I haven't been, but I think
is that the right field thing?
Yeah, that's the right field thing. I really want to go to that.
Yeah, I haven't.
I was listening to Paulie's show, and he mentioned that this guy Paulie with the head of marketing, and I'm like, God damn it! I should have stayed friends with him. Could have gone to the Gotham Club.
We'll go with your best friend, Paulie Mack.
Yeah. Joe has taken. Oh, Joe, you went with us too to those Lexus seats, or now they're Tesla.
Audi. Is it Audi? It might be Audi. I forget. They've freaking changed it all the time.
Those were pretty dope.
Yeah, those are. Right? I mean, that's when you're like trying to watch. The one thing I've actually never been to the Gotham Club, so I can't really, speak about it. But you're in right field.
Thing. You're not watching.
Yeah, exactly. Like how well are you going to watch? Really pay attention to the game. Like you're in right field.
I just want to do it once. It looks fun.
Yeah, I went to the Coors Light section.
I talked to Brett Davalos. I'm pretty sure he's a member.
Don't you have to rent it out with a group or something?
I don't know how it works. Just talk to BDAV, okay?
Have you ever been on the first baseline, those lower seats that are like almost dugout kind of seats?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah, I do. I mean, that's almost like you're so low. I feel like you're not seeing the pitches as well.
You really want every possible
once you get to the top of the mountain, you want to stay there. Everything else looks crappy.
Yeah, I agree. After being in those Lexus seats for a few games, I went with Danny too during COVID, and so it was like a private baseball game. It was incredible.
Wow.
Even being a few rows back from that, it's like shit. These aren't as good as the ones.
You got spoiled there real quick.
Yeah. That's like when you and I, Jake, flew business class next to Gary Payton. We're like, it's all downhill from here.
I know. I'm disgusted now whenever I have to fly and I'm not business class.
I call
like,
these the Jock Peterson seats when he hit 3 home runs against the Mets.
Oh yeah,
one of the best games I've ever seen.
Starkey and I saw a freaking epic ball game.
Unbelievable.
And they pinch hit for him for matchups after his 3 home runs. He got pinch hit for because there's a lefty in. That was the Kapler era.
I don't know. I wasn't at that game, but I definitely was at the one he hit 3 jacks. And he hit the game. He had the game-winning RBI on I think a single.
He was on one. It was incredible.
It was Barry Bonds talked to him for like an hour before the game.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember that game perfectly.
That's all it takes. Bonds just giving you like 20 minutes.
Yeah, Lamont Wade had a terrible start to the year.
Just catch the ball. Just your barrel is a mitt.
Right. Like, okay, Barry, that's easy to do for everyone.
Yeah,
If you can catch a ball, you can hit a home run by
catching it with your bat. You just catch it with your barrel, okay?
101 on the hands, just catch it with your barrel.
Yeah, and Jock is a little bit like I don't know him at all, but he kind of strikes me as not the sharpest tool in the shed. So I imagine Barry kind of gave him some very simplistic advice that maybe resonated.
Yeah, that probably worked on him. A funny story is Jock's rookie year. He grew up in the Bay Area. He played receiver in Palo Alto with Devontae Adams, and apparently he was better than Devontae. But he's a huge Giants fan, and his first trip to Oracle Park as a Dodger, he tried to get Bonds' autograph, and Bonds wouldn't talk to him. Like big time. Well, yeah. He said because he was a Dodger. He was like, I ain't signing no Dodgers. Whatever.
Yeah. I don't know, like I said, man, I have more sympathy for these big leaguers. Just they get asked constantly. It's probably annoying as fuck. You put on a uniform.
Starkey sends me Jeff Pearlman videos, and I just saw a new one today. That guy has it in for Bonds, man. Like no one hates Barry Bonds more than Pearlman. He just told another story on a podcast about I don't know, just how much he hates him. How every time he tried to
I was so disappointed that the A's didn't.
He probably secretly has a huge crush on him.
Because
what do the A's have to lose? Why wouldn't they have done it? They could have got him for the league minimum.
Exactly. He was willing to play for league minimum. The A's were actually really good in those later Bonds years. You guys had a ton of young talent. And because Bonds needed to play in the AL, because
he would have been Frank Thomas
because there's no DH.
So he had 4 years left as a DH if he wanted.
Dude, he was he could have the natural takeover for Frank Thomas.
Like Julio Franco played until he's 48. He might have had more than 4 years. But let's just call it 4 years. But here's the thing with the A's:
Bonds could do it now.
Yes. Okay. So not only did he fit the money ball, because his last year I think he hit 262, but with a 450
400 OBP. Yeah, and he had 28 jacks.
Still ridiculous.
Yes. So okay, fit the money ball to a T. Hey, undervalued freaking asset here. But then think about the economic factor, the A's, being in the Coliseum, having a big place to try to sell tickets.
It would have been like Jerry Rice going to the Raiders. That's the kind of same concept.
Did they? I want to be a fly on the wall. Did Billy Beane consider it? Was the owner did they not even think about it? Was there never even a conversation? Can we get Billy Beane on?
He had a settlement for
and ask.
I think Bonds
got blackballed from the league.
Yes, I know he got blackballed from the league. But what I'm saying is he made the most sense to go to Oakland. You guys, you needed a DH. You needed a big bat. You were freaking.
It clearly wasn't a baseball.
Yeah, the guy was in the top 5 in OBP in the league.
But the other thing with the A's is you needed the freaking business. It could have been an economic
all day long. I mean, it's not about winning games or having fans. It's about getting along with Rob Manfred and whoever the commissioner was at the time.
At that time, it was Selig.
And you would have pulled so many San Francisco Giants fans to go.
Yeah, you would have. I would have become an A's fan.
I would have got season tickets for sure.
Oh no, he's just a company man. Just whatever you tell me to do, I'll do it. Sure, fine.
And the thing about baseball. There's this theory okay, you got to have good team chemistry to win. And I think it's the reverse. I think you win and then you have team chemistry. You know what I mean? Like scientifically, it's you look back and say there was good team chemistry because basically everyone kind of played well. There's so many things like in baseball where if you just do what's in your own best interest, it's probably best for the team. Like it's like 99% of the time. There's only very few times where
it's the
you're
most
actually
individual
sacrificing your own, interest for the team.
Guys, I
Yeah.
just gotta say, the Rays and A's, all they do is hit solo jacks. I think there's been 5. This must have been from earlier, but I'm just watching this hitting
I think
display.
the A's won that, didn't they?
It's the 7th. I don't know. I'm unaware.
All right. Well, if you guys ever have Billy, by the way, is Billy Beane still the GM for the A's?
He's
No,
some kind of
David-
he has
David
some
Ross
role.
is-
But,
I don't even know if Billy Beane just kind of faded away. I think.
yeah, he's associated with the team, but he's not like as hands on anymore.
Might be a prime opportunity to get him on the podcast. Then sounds like he's he's kind of out of favor.
Maybe we get him
Can
and
I
Michael
just
Lewis
say,
at the same
while we're talking
time.
about the A's, I'm just so happy to be out from under this slavery of a fan slavery that they put me under for decades. It was just horrible. Just like everything you're saying, they didn't care.
I'm gonna
about-
say, Joe, that you're not out from under. It's kind of like going through a breakup, and it's
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah,
you're,
yeah, it's
you're
a
like
divorce.
you're
Yes.
like 4 months.
I'd compare A's
through,
fandom
and
to slavery any day of the week.
and then you're like, you're like, guys, hey, I'm completely moved on, dude.
I've been sleeping
I don't
around
care.
with the
I don't
Twins and
care.
the Cubs.
I don't care.
just
if
kind
she
of
fucks
been,
another guy. Okay, she could go out and she could just party and she could do whatever she wants. I don't care. I've moved on. But deep down, as your friends, we all kind of know you still do care. Still care about your ex. Like you don't really want her to like do some weird shit. With another guy. Like
He just gets
that's really what it
gangbanged.
is. Yeah, you don't want her to.
You're
You
hoping
think I want to
that
have
marriage
marriage
in
sex with
Vegas.
the A's? I do not.
Yeah,
You
like
think I want to go to the A's game
so
this
it's
Sunday
like
and
you're-
enjoy
I hear
myself? I
you-
will not do
I
that.
hear you pumping yourself up, like, "Hey, I'm done. I'm through." Dude,
No,
you're
but
not
you hope
pulling-
the
you're not pulling
engagement to
us.
Vegas turns into a huge divorce. That's what you're hoping for. And I'll tell you this, Joe, having gone to Vegas this last weekend and driving by the new A's stadium, it's a good location for a baseball team. I mean,
Oh no!
it's a good location. It doesn't need to be the A's,
Oh,
but
you shut the
Vegas,
fuck
Vegas
up right
should
now.
definitely have a baseball team.
Joe's gonna storm off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I like
see, he's
Flannery's analogy here because I think that's spot on. It feels like I'm going through a divorce. You saw it coming for a little while, then like going through all the paperwork, and now I'm
Papers
just
got
kinda,
filed.
Like, trying to
eventually.
find myself of like, am I still, what are my options? But like, there's I can see myself like want to have like a makeup game with the A's and just like getting erect with a full "Let's Go Oakland" chant.
All right.
Well,
You can have some makeup sex if they make it to the World Series.
Well,
All right,
the X is
guys.
going to
Well,
a flashier, like,
yeah.
more attractive place, and you're
Joe
stuck here banging
might be
dudes.
having a third kid here in 9.5 months. Is Teresa home?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Joe's
Nope,
like,
okay.
he's like, okay, I'll be LGBTQI if that's what the community wants, and that's where we are right now. So you gotta.
No.
No.
I still hate
No,
that bitch.
yeah.
I want nothing to do.
But Joe, I personally think it's going to be like a 10-year long before you're truly over it, and maybe not even.
I'm at the stage right now in the divorce where I'm like, I feel like I'm doing well, and then I see the A's lose 19 of 20 or whatever it was, 20 of 21, and I'm like, oh yeah, that bitch is not doing well. Fuck her.
I'm gonna say is you got to be in like your 60s when like you literally look at the Las Vegas A's and you're like, I look at them like they're the freaking Detroit Tigers.
I don't think it'll ever happen. I think that's going to be a heartbreak for the rest of his life, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
time heals.
He was a closet Sacramento Kings fan for a season. I could see him jump on the A's if they got, World Series talent
What
and
are
it
you
gets to be a
talking
little
about?
bit
I'm not
homegrown.
going to jump on the A's. It's long, no. Get out
Not
of here.
now. I'm saying like 5-6 years of Fisher's kind of on the out. Even especially if Fisher leaves,
I
he's
hate
no
them
longer the
so
owner.
much. No, I
And-
would never.
all right, well, we'll see. Time will tell.
Fisher was
All
a
right.
really nice guy.
It was a nasty divorce. I want that bitch to die. I don't know.
Yeah, we all
All
knew
right,
you had
well-
moved on.
This is getting really dark.
All right.
All
Guys,
right.
it's been
Well,
fun.
this has been a Hum Daddy's Giants live stream, I guess. Not much Giants, not much live streaming to the game, but Flannery really saved this because it was it's getting weird.
All right. Well, I'll sign off unless you guys are all signing off.
All right.
Jake,
Thank
you
you,
wanna
Joe
take it
Flannery.
away?
I'll close it up. Yeah, say bye.
All right. Bye.
See you, Joe.
Good job.
Our
Thanks,
live
Joe. That
cast quit
that-
at 9:30, by the way, which is fine. This is all being recorded by Riverside.
Oh, but the actual thing ended?
I scheduled it till 9:30. I didn't think we were gonna make it till 10.
And it automatically cuts off?
Yeah, whatever you schedule on the.
Worst comes to
YouTube
worst.
live
I mean, that was an enjoyable convo with Flannery.
We'll just say goodbye and then let's turn it off.
Yeah. Adios, Hum Daddies.
Bye.
Okay.